Yeah, okay, that's kind of like intolerance. That's an addiction.
I mean,
That's an addiction.
I'm an addictive personality. Actually, damn, I really do though. Nah, bro, you was really trying to shame me for the chopped cheese, bro. Don't ever come to my hood like that, bro. Just to let you know.
Nigga, what? No. That concoction you call a stomach?
You're not valid in the Bronx no more, bro.
You're not valid in the hospital anymore.
Hey, man, hold on. I need that from my...
They made Pepto-Bismol for niggas like you.
Yo, for real. Yo, if you notice, poor people really be out here. We really be living off like Pepto-Bismol. That's a fact. Yo, for real. Yo, our guts have to be like so filled with bismuth. Bismuth. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Alright, sit,
All right.
clap. 3, 2, 1. No, alright, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Alright, we're starting. Welcome to the Piece by Piece podcast. I'm your host, William Parham. I'm here with
Mess,
and our special guest today is
My name is Yash Kalocha.
Yash Kalocha. Gotcha. Alright, so as you know, this podcast is dedicated towards mental health, self-improvement, a bit of vulnerability, and life experience. We are not medical doctors, so take our advice with a grain of salt. Letting you know, just getting that out the way, first and foremost, we are not professionals, we are just walkers of life. So, today's topic is about the broken mind. We had a question yesterday that was very in-depth, and we wanted to get people's honest answers, because when you feel like your mind has been broken, you're very quiet and closed off to yourself, at least from our experience. So our question was, tell us a sentence that broke you, but you had to act as if it didn't happen. And when we say this, we mean broke as in it shattered you, it ruptured your emotions, it made you uneasy. A good example of this is a loved one telling you they never really loved you. That would put you in a state of shock where you're not feeling as who you were, your time you invested in that person and the feelings you had aren't reciprocated. And it's actually a complete 180 that throws you off. So we asked people, and we got some really interesting responses, some darker than others. And what do you guys think about that, or how do you feel about that?
who wants to start? You want to start?
Wait. I wasn't there to hear those experiences.
Well, then let me ask you, what's a sentence that broke you, but you had to act as if it never happened, so you had to play it off?
I mean, there's a lot of those. Can't really. For me, I used to hear those types of things all the time. I don't love you. You're trash. You're garbage. You're nothing. So you tend to bring a tolerance against that because people can say things, but they can't really act on things. And it's not really words that hurt me anymore. It's more of the action that hurts me. For example, let's say father hits you with a chair, or actually I do remember one thing that, kills. It would be my father coming to me and saying, I'm in senior year of my high school. I have to work on a college essay, and I have to write about, my life. I'm just like, okay, sure, why not? And I was a very giddy guy, so I just, and all of a sudden, I started writing more and more, and then it's incorrect. My cousin says this is trash. You gotta restart it. I'm like, okay, fine. I restarted, and I really think, and I'm starting to remember things about my life that I forgot about. I started remembering my father beating my mother, and also my second mother. Now he has a third mother, and he pretends everything's fine, and I wonder, why does he hate my first mother so much? So then I just get angry over time, more angry, because constantly, you know how divorced parents work. If they both hate each other a lot, they'll tend to use the middle child as a diplomat. They don't want to talk to each other, so they use the diplomat. And the diplomat, they kind of have a kill the messenger type of vibe. You don't love me, this or that. You're listening to her, you're listening to him. They sound exactly the same, even though they think they're so different. So, but with the whole thing was the most. All of a sudden I confront him, and I'm basically like, hey, listen. We had an argument, and he goes face to face to me like UFC fighters and all that, and I'm just like, did you regret hitting your mother? And he's just like, when you have a wife, you'll understand. And I was like, yeah, I was pissed off, and you know, I was just like, fuck out of here, bro.
Gotta say, nah, I can never.
I got out.
I can never hit like a woman like my wife.
No matter what, bro.
That
Like you just
that
can't.
feel right.
That's not like a.
Self-defense, yes, but like not like I can't be the attacker.
Not like that. No matter what. Yeah.
Nah, self-defense, I'm all for it.
Yeah, like
Self-defense or sex or all those such things you can hit a woman for.
Oh.
Alright, yeah, I mean,
Alright.
I wasn't
I'm into like hate shit. Like,
Yeah.
But like, you know, shit, I've been hit before. In bed, it was great. But anyways, back to the point. What's that done? Back to the point. I would say that, you know, that triggered me, and then I left him for like a year, because he hit me with a chair. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, do it again, bitch! And then he was like, you know, do it. And he just calls me January 1st, and you know, just level it out. He's just like, I wasn't angry. I apologize for what I said. I didn't want to hit your mother. I didn't want to do that. And he's obviously sorry about it, but these days, it's a little bit bipolar now. I don't get it.
Why January 1st, if you don't mind me
It's
asking?
been a whole year.
Oh, that was like the
I haven't
anniversary.
seen you in a
Gotcha.
whole last year. So I was like,
Man, I'm sorry.
it's alright.
Honestly, it's.
I've been doing this dance since I was 4 years old.
Well, you definitely hit it. You definitely covered it well.
I covered it. I accepted it.
When I'm saying this, it's, you played it off like I would not have expected you to go through all that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess.
So like it's almost like you're acting like it doesn't matter, but it does have an effect on it. Like it did matter, it did happen. Like you are affected. But when looking at you, talking to you, you don't come off as like, yeah, I've been traumatized.
Of course I was traumatized.
Obviously, I'm saying the way you're coming off
like
is like
you don't. You're like he's saying that you don't.
your demeanor isn't.
Yeah, you don't come off as a person that's kind of like been broken down by like stuff like that. Like I mean, yeah, whatever it is, it definitely fucked you up, 100%. But the thing is, it's like usually like some people. Oh shit, yeah, sure, I'm glad. So yeah, so some people when they go through things like what you did, you know, like what happened with your parents, usually they'll show like a certain sign of like some people will be not confrontational, you know what I'm saying, or very confrontational, because you know like when some dudes see the mom get hit, you're immediately gonna be taken to that point like I'm fucking everyone up here, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get put to that point in time. You're like, you know, and it just keeps adding up, you know, because it's like sit right here. Well, yeah, you can just sit right here. Well, he's on the phone. Yeah, just sit right here. Yeah, you can sit right here. Yeah, that way. And just move the thing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna chop this part up real quick. Oh, I thought you were gonna be going for like
Our second guest is here. That's crazy.
What the fuck? Damn, who's our second?
My boy Harpreet.
Okay.
So we'll talk. Well, keep
No,
on.
we gotta finish this part of it. Yeah, I guess there's more people showing up. So anyway,
Okay.
God damn, bro, I feel like justice is legal villains. But no, so like, that's understandable because when you go through things like that, you know, you might be more combative. You know, you might be one of those people, and I know there's people that watch their parents, their mom get hit. It's like they're very not violent, but they're very like very short fused. They're willing, and like, cause I grew up in the Bronx, and I also like lived in Dundalk for a while, which is kind of like I'm not gonna call it low income. It's like low to medium. But the thing is, a lot of those people in those areas went through a lot of problems at home, and they're very combative. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna take shit. They're like, yo, you know, you get to know these people, and you're like, damn, man, is your family life that fucked up? And they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that I know that are very quiet, and then they watch their mom get hit, and the next thing you know, they're like fighting. You're like, yo, the quiet kid just fucked up that one guy, and you're like, damn. Now that quiet kid is like the bully, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the top dog around, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like he's the violent one, you know what I'm saying? But because that you don't give off those vibes. I'm saying, you know, like, I mean, you probably like, I don't know, in a sense you might be combative. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, usually there's like certain signs that.
Just set it right here.
Do you want to just stop rolling the cameras then, while everyone sets up?
No, we can keep it. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Keep
Okay.
it nice and friendly.
Okay.
All right. So, let me introduce our second guest, the man, the myth, the legend.
We're gonna have the sync clap again, just to let you know. most
Okay.
likely.
You want to say clap right now?
No, honestly, I kind of hate the sync
All right.
clapping.
Well, I was introducing.
But okay.
All right. So the man, the myth, the legend, co-worker, friend, Harpreet, coming from DC. It's great to have you on. Is there anything you'd like to say just to get started? Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Harpreet. I graduated in 2016 or maybe 2015, and after that I've been just running around to figure out what I want to do next, and I did odd jobs like being a scribe or surgical tech, and then right now I'm working at physical therapy with Will. And then I finally found out after graduating with a degree in biology after 5 years that it's a useless fucking degree. There's no
Fuck this degree.
Yeah, and
What degree? What degree?
biology,
Yeah.
biological sciences. Even though it was like a limited enrollment program, but there's no job market.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Dude,
After that, yeah,
I see-
most of my friends, they either ended up going into med schools or like professional schools, or some of them became car salesmen with a degree in biology.
Bio degree.
No,
That's
I can see that. I can
biodiesel.
see that. That's why, like, sometimes, like, bro, like, I'm so like deep in bio right now that I'm kind of like, I realize how much better I am in chemistry and math, like useful fucking degrees, and I'm like, oh, cool. Here's me with a degree that's like, yeah, if there were millions of dolphin researchers, I'd probably have fucking money, but that's a little bit of realism.
That's interesting. Man, I'm getting called back to back. All right, so you talk to Harpreet. This is my
Bro,
dad. This is a family thing.
No, dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
continue with
Well,
ascensions that broke
one
you.
of them is gonna have to like sit like.
That's fine. Harpreet can sit where I'm sitting.
Okay.
What do you guys do here, man?
Okay, so I'm bio major. You know, I
Okay.
used this as major. So
Okay.
yeah, so with a minor in chemistry that may turn into a major in chemistry.
Gotcha.
And you. So yeah, because you're introducing yourself again. So.
My name is Yash political science major, and I'm trying to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's actually way better than
Fucking bio, bro. For real. Like you actually have a job outlook.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to do a PhD in something.
I'm not
or,
doing that shit.
yeah,
Bro. I'm gonna be
like-
real. I'm like every other kid here, pretty man.
Yeah. So I think the biggest misconception or like bad advice that I've never got a good advice coming into academics, because
Do you want to put the mic closer to you real quick, man?
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't get a good advice coming into academics because I come from India, and like it's really, like it's a poor background. Like everyone is trying to. It's like overpopulated country, and everyone wants to
Make it.
Yeah. And like what are top careers that make it? I think it's not just in India or Indian subcontinent or
absolutely not.
Asia. It's like everywhere. Like either
Africa,
doctors,
Latin America.
Yeah.
No, bro, like straight up. I'm pretty sure every single person at this table can agree. What is the one thing as brown parents? The one thing is so mama's got ifuna. So the thing is, so pretty much it's like this little part of Honduras, which is like it's a predominantly Latino country, but like the part where she's from is like, because the Caribbean people like the African part, but still, the culture is Hispanic.
Yeah.
So you know what they tell you? Doctor, abogado, ingeniero,
Yeah.
engineer at 3, doctor and lawyer 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? Most of my friends from India, lawyer, doctor.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like the burnt performance, man, on these guys that aren't made for this. Cause these majors are, some people are not made for these, and that's a really bitter red pill to swallow. It's true. Like, trust me, man, and I know if I was an immigrant and my son is like, I raised him and all that, and like, I want him to be the best. And I'm like, damn, I'm putting all this effort, and he's like, he doesn't make it. I guess depending on like my background, I'd be like disappointed, but I realize that's just like the culture before me, and I'm putting the effort on him. But you gotta be realistic, 'cause I don't want my kid to like eat shit in life. 'Cause the world does not owe you shit. Like, look, man, be real with you. I know people that art majors. No disrespect to art majors, unless if you're going to academia and teach art, you're not going to find a job. Unless if you nepotism plays into like most of the art majors I know. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh, yeah, I think nepotism and
Well, it plays in everything.
Yeah, it plays in
Yeah,
everything.
like even like, but the only people I really see doing really well in art, I would say, is people who are related to someone
it's like access to
or professors.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like one thing that I realized that because I wanted to become a doctor because everyone around me, you gotta become a doctor. Yeah, it was like I came here. It's like okay, I'm really good at science and biology. Let me just do something in biology.
Yeah.
I go to go to undergrad and everyone is in the same rat race, and then I look at my cousin who did finance and went to med school. I was like, I could have done that,
Bro.
I could have done that because if I did not want to go to med school, now I have a career.
Exactly. I said, wait, so he went to finance then to med school?
Yeah.
See, it's funny. My aunt got to med school. She was a fucking music major. Bro, she music major, did a bunch of pre-meds, got in. Because, like, when they saw that picture, whoever, like, saw the medical school applications, they were like, oh my god. Like, bro, even poli-science be like, yo, I think poli-science have actually a better advantage to get into fucking med school than bio. Because bio, you enter this formula, like, oh, you're cool, you're good at bio, whatever. Oh, you're good at chemistry, you're good at biochem. Cool, you combine both. Guess what? It's the same thing. And honestly, I'm realizing this far in my major, yo, it is a fucking scam. Bro, bio is not the way to fucking go. You know what? I'd rather be a fucking psych major and apply for med school.
Yeah.
Because I realize how pointless fucking bio really is. One thing like I hear from my family members that are in med school is like, yo, you learn anatomy in med school. People take anatomy in undergrad just to get like a little bit of advanced, bro. It's the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
Anatomy will not change in 2 years.
I think the only hard part in biology or in med, like just in general in med sciences is the language, like the words and stuff. Everything is like observation of natural world, and if you're good at like composing thoughts, which poli-science would probably teach you how to have a coherent
He's a
thought.
poli-science major, man. So like, yeah, like I have no idea on poli-science majors. The only thing I really know about them is like a lot of them go into law. And I mean, it's politics, but most of the ones I know go into law, which is a good background.
Because they're dealing with like larger populations, groups of people, and like how they come together, how to make policies and stuff.
Like you ask me about legislation, I would have to Google to really kind of understand what legislation is. Wait, what's legislation mean? Because I don't know what that means. I'm not. I just want to know, like.
Not that much to go to a student, but I'm pretty sure man.
Bro, we're probably gonna chop some of this up, bro. So like, I just.
So basically, legislation, I believe, is just like making law.
Is that really it? Like,
making policies, making law.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Legislation. If you want to search it up, but legislation, I believe, is just making policies, making laws, making rules that people like can look into and. Don't look. She ain't got no ass. Anyways, it's basically understanding policies. And yeah, that's basically what legislation is. It's written documents and stuff.
Okay, actually we're probably about to ask like an actual question. So this one it's about to get dark. All right.
Okay.
So the question of the day is, we're probably gonna like reiterate. I don't think we're gonna have to reiterate, but so the question is, what sentence did you hear that broke you, but you had to act like it didn't? God damn. Yo, this one.
Well, I grew up dyslexic, so it's not sentences for me. So I think in images and pictures and like the videos, and I think it was not actually a sentence that broke me, but it was like a scene, something that happened to me right in front of me when I was like in my early teens, where like you literally complain about. Not having enough, like especially in India, you would see a guy begging, right, and a guy driving a Mercedes on the same road at the same time, and I saw a guy in the Mercedes who has made it, living with stress and anxiety and all like mental health problems, while the guy was just begging, had the best smile on his face. And I'm like, my parents want me to be successful, have money, but what about the kind of person I'm gonna become? What is that pursuing that is gonna like make me do? Can I be that guy in a Mercedes and be that happy?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so like
you can do that.
I think you can have money and be happy. I just think that. Alright, I've noticed that when you have a lot of money, it comes with a lot of power, and with a lot of power comes like great responsibility. I think that's all like correlated. Which I think when people like start to get money, like alright, here's the thing, bro. I've noticed a very cold, like it's like red pill truth about life is like, dude, the only way I can get money, I'm gonna say it, is just it's pretty much got to be something I don't enjoy. It's the only way to get rich. If I truly was trying to get rich off what I really would want to do, I would be fucking homeless.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Like, and that's the thing. I understand. So sometimes I understand where our parents kind of came from. It's almost like they try to like who the fuck wants to sit there and study for Orgo on Saturday night?
Yeah.
That is not fucking fun, bro. Unless if you're like passionate about that shit. But yo, like, look, man, I'm studying Orgo right there. You can see like some of the shit right there, and it's like, no, there's no passion in that for me. You know what I'm saying? The way. And I just feel like, okay, you get all this money, it's going to come with great responsibilities because you become a doctor, you got to pay for malpractice and stuff like that. Another thing, stressed out, you know, it's just like, I feel like the more money you gain, the more stress comes with it, you know?
Also, like, living in the U.S., the concept of money is a little different from, like, living in different countries. Even in the developed world, if you look at Europe, money works a little differently over there. Like, they have a bigger social net, like a safety net for their taxes are high, but then their population is getting what they're paying their taxes for.
Okay.
Like if you're a citizen, let's say in UK, they have the national health system, which is like, okay, if you're if you're
is that like
British.
is that like the house first, like the thing we have where like some people that are looking for like rehabilitation in homes, it's like they'll get like a free housing for like a little or like the It's
until
like
you get back on your feet, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Even in like, they're in mental health institutions. They're not like jails. The people come and they don't just put you on pills and try to manage you chemically and then bill an insurance company. They actually try to come and work with you with a therapy setting, and then they try to make you a better, productive citizen of the society. So you can go once you get out of here. You have like made sure that whatever the problems you came in with, you understand them and you know how to tackle them, not like going back to your doctors every month and getting a refill, which those pills probably cause more side effects and make you more of a loony in the long run if you try to quit them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And also like in the safety net in the sense that it's like Medicare for all built into their constitution.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about, it might be a long time, you not be able to get the best procedures right away, but how many times do we go into doctors to get a major procedure done? Not really. Like if you want to get your blood work done, if you want to know your health, where do you stand, that's really, really easy access, and 90% of the people require insurance just for that. Like we don't really get sick when we were young, unless we are like not getting enough nutrition or have genetical predisposition to something, but those are rare cases. And our system the capitalistic system is designed around fear. Insurance is all about fear. And even if my biggest grudge was, even if I became a doctor, who am I gonna treat? Well, people who only have insurance. And who does have insurance? Rich people. The people who actually need health care. They have no access to it, even though there is. Like I'm on Medicaid right now because I don't make enough. And a few weeks ago I had a little mild panic attack that led into a seizure. My doctors the insurance company still is not approving my MRI because my doctor said I had a panic attack, not a seizure. And if there was Medicare for all and everyone's treated equally, or even if I had a good insurance, I wouldn't have to be in that circle of like, oh, we're not gonna pay because you're in a lower tier pool.
Man, it's all ICD codes and your zip code.
Exactly. So so doctors are basically working for insurance companies. And
big pharma, man. Like just this medical industry pretty much is kind of like scummy. But so back to like the question about like the sentence that broke you and you had to act like it. How did you go about it acting like it didn't faze you? I'm gonna turn to you in a minute. Actually, yeah. What? Yeah, I can say I'm gonna ask you. How did you? Did you already answer it earlier? I'm sorry. I'm just like the whole thing's kind of thrown off. Did you answer how like I had to act like it didn't faze you? Oh no, you say you got used to it, right?
For me it was just like it's normal.
Okay.
It's more like I said, it was actions really.
Oh yeah, you told me. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him then. So how did you have to act? Like, what did you do to act like it didn't faze you? Like, what you saw, like, with your parents and all that, I guess, trying to, I don't want to say maybe forced to make you go into these paths that you maybe were not interested in it whatsoever. Like, Where you just like,
Well, during that process, I discovered some certain things about myself that I like to observe, and naturally, I'm philosophically inclined. So you can throw a complex idea at me, like it might go over like an average 14 or 15-year-old kid's head, but I was like, oh, I see the irony in this. So I started observing people, like what they're saying and what they're doing. Like they all want to be happy sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Once their kids start making money.
Yeah, it's like delayed gratification times like 20.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so if I want to go to heaven, I have to die. It's not like my dad's gonna die and that gives me a definite seat in heaven.
Yeah.
So if I want to be happy, so I have to be happy regardless of who is around me.
Okay.
So like, for the beggar who is happy, who has nothing to lose.
Well, that is true. I feel like when you have less money, like I like what you were saying about, like it is less stressful. Think about it. When you don't have money, you don't have no responsibilities. I hate to say this, but there is like a pros and cons to like both types of lifestyles. Because the thing is, bro, to make money, you have to be of value. When I mean by of value, it's like really a company owner. You gotta be the boss. You gotta be on top of your shit. That is the only way to be successful. Like, bro, listen, I was in bands and shit. I used to play music and shit. Bro, if I could not be rich off that shit. Like, bro, I love playing hardcore music. You know what I'm saying? Throwing, fuck your friends up in the pit. You know, I love that shit.
Even not today. Like now we have access to like
Oh.
Instagram and TikTok.
No, you'll never get it because you know what? Streaming, TikTok, all that shit kills it, bro. There's bands that are like that at one point probably used to stand for like a certain statement. Bro, you could probably have bands that were like super like anti-Nazi, anti like fucking like fascist. I'm not getting too much politics, but any of that kind of shit. Next thing you know, motherfuckers out here doing TikTok dances to it. What the fuck, bro? Like people used to get stomped like fucking Nazis in the hardcore scene used to get stomped out. Now motherfuckers are here hitting this weird like the woe to this shit. I'm like, bro, or whatever fuck they be dancing to.
Speaking of TikTok, have you ever heard that news that in China TikTok is manipulated in a way that
stuff?
for educational
Yeah,
stuff only?
It's an algorithm.
Yeah.
I actually
And
believe
all
that.
we see here is like semi-naked ass
We just see
like bouncing on songs that no one cares about.
Hey, you have something to say about this? Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, I think all we have now on TikTok is degeneracy.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree
a lot
with
of
that.
support for the left side. Like a lot of support. And they talk about freedom of speech. They talk about freedom of clothing, freedom of how you want to present yourself. All these types of freedoms.
Yeah. Oh, and if you are Andrew Tate and have a good opinion, you're thrown in jail.
And that's the thing. And then the thing is, we don't have that.
Yeah. Like I see what you're saying now. So like in other words, you're trying to say there's no rules pretty much on TikTok. Everyone kind of wants to be free to do their own thing as they please without having some type of repercussion.
Yeah, but
I get
here's
that.
the thing. The biggest scam America has done is called freedom of speech. It's the biggest scam. Reason being is because we have people talking about how you can say whatever you want, and we see that. We see a lot of protests out there. We see a lot of, ideologies clashing against each other. However, what we don't see is people actually able to hold a debate without having the sense of leaving. Because I've seen so many of these leftist people, when all of a sudden you put them in a corner and you debate with them, they will either scream like a child or they will just leave.
Can you ID leftists for people who don't know?
Yeah.
Bro,
Like as myself, I feel like I
leftists-
might not know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're talking about liberal people, like very liberal. I'm talking like colored hair. I'm talking
That's what I mean.
piercings all over the face. I'm talking just
Gen Z.
No,
not Gen
no,
Z.
it's like-
bro, there are people. There are like parents who are like this.
Mhm.
Parents. I'm talking parents who are literally like this. They act exactly like these children, and don't mature. I'm not talking about Gen Z. I'm gonna fuck all those generations bullshits. I'm talking about people who are basically numb to all the luxuries that they have in life, that they want to fight for something. Like just because of a small inconvenience to them, they'll start seeing that as a huge ass problem. And what do you have? You have people getting too sensitive. You have people getting banned on YouTube. You have people getting banned on just speaking their own things. You have the ideology of an old working man or an old working woman as toxic. You have all these old things that we used to have. All these old things like Disney, bro. TV shows we have today, all promoting things that, you know, a child should not be seeing. And
Like Peppa the Pig is literally a dick.
I never really thought about that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I never.
Nah, break it down to me.
Yeah,
I'll
Peppa the
yeah.
Pig. If you look at the cartoon, it's literally a shaft with a round ball, and it's designed for
I
kids.
cannot see it, bro.
And there's like lunch boxes and like whatnot, like.
Dude, my nephew watches that, dude. I don't think about it, bro. It's kind of wild.
Wait, I actually need to look up an image of Pepper. Hold on.
This is.
I need to confirm.
Nah,
this
bro.
for
He's
myself.
actually.
Like forget overly sexualizing cartoon female characters.
Yeah.
There's actually a Peppa the Pig that looks like a dick.
You never seen Peppa the Pig, bro?
I feel like I have, but like
You have, but it's like-
been a while since I saw like a 2004 animation.
No, that's.
yeah,
that's
I wasn't talking about like
Oh my
that type
gosh.
of stuff.
I think I know where you're getting at.
Gosh.
I think that.
You're not wrong.
The fuck? Hold up, man. Damn, this shit. I'm spinning it. Hold up. I fucked it up.
Look at it.
You see that?
Gosh. Ugh.
I think. Yeah.
You gotta slide it forward.
I'm trying to bring it down. Fuck. I see it.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm just spinning it. Yeah. Yeah. Bro, this fucking today's weird. Today's is weird as fuck.
There you go. Wait, make sure it's not on the cords.
Yeah. Can you hold the mic real quick?
Yeah, spin it like this.
Thank you.
I think I know where he's getting at. Like.
Did we all answer a question?
No, so I asked him about the question like what broke down.
Yeah.
That I had at cool. Yeah, he answered it. He already answered it before, like literally as soon as he was walking in. So yeah, we kind of got like that part out. So yeah, we're definitely gonna edit some of this shit out, bro. But it's cool because like most of us don't have been moving too crazy, so we can kind of cut it. Cause like, so I think I know where so where you're coming from, like over here we have things where people can protest. I'm gonna tell you one thing, bro. If you travel overseas, none of this shit be possible. Bro, dude, if you go to Russia, there's some things to be like, what the fuck? Bro, if you even, Russia, anything in the East, if you even think you can have like anything like leftist ideals are just really the Western world. That is a fact. Yeah, I don't.
It's too individualistic without understanding the true definition of what it means to be individual.
Yeah,
It's like individual in like in a philosophical, at least in the ancient Eastern philosophy, means that you're so indivisible, that you're so connected with the nature.
Mhm.
That's what makes you an individual. You're like indivisible. You and the nature are one. But you take that philosophy to European psychologists and who are just trying to make their name in psychology. So they're just dividing the mind into smaller and smaller.
So it's funny because I've noticed a very interesting thing, and that some people, when they're claiming for their doctorates and stuff like that, they'll find these problems that they're issues, but they almost will blow up the problem, and then ironically it will become an issue.
It comes from the culture of participation trophies.
Yeah, because that
Everyone wants to be special.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So like, dude, there's some things, bro, that
have winners
at one
and
point like
losers.
we knew they were an issue, but then you start thinking about it, and you're like, okay, I can see how like certain people could think like that's shitty, but sometimes, bro, it's not that deep. Sometimes some situations are not that fucking deep, bro. And I think when he was talking about like the cancel culture and stuff like that, and he says like the freedom of speech thing is kind of gone, which is true, man. You get canceled for almost anything, bro. Like.
Yeah, I can get canceled to identify as a man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Why? Because you don't fit in our like
Archetype.
idea of gender is non-binary.
Yeah.
I will have to play devil's advocate only for like one specific reason. So there is freedom of speech, and it to an extent it's limited, but it's only limited when you're promoting it on certain platforms. So like take YouTube for instance. YouTube has guidelines ahead that you have to follow before you say what you gotta say. So it's almost as if they're telling you like, be free to be creative, but just know like we're on a leash and we'll pull if we need to pull.
I mean that
like they even give strikes.
That sounds like, honestly, that's just government. Congrats, that's just government. So when it comes down to YouTube, it's the same. It's the same.
Like
way.
in public, you can still say what you want to say. That's
okay, bro. But here's the thing: a freedom of speech does not give you freedom of consequences, bro. You say, bro, racist people. A perfect example. They like throw the hard R, bro. You say that shit in real life, you're gonna get smacked the fuck up. You can say it, like you said, like bro.
That's just an unspoken rule, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, people tend to forget, bro. You can say whatever. You can generally say whatever your heart desires. But I am telling you, the consequences are a real thing. And I think the problem is nowadays is with certain I guess with certain things we got going on. Like I know with the like more like the leftist sides, like they kind of like made it like where like I guess like racists are afraid again, which I mean I'm not like against it. I'm not gonna lie, like it's good. They should be afraid. But it is freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like I was on TikTok the other day and I ran into white propaganda, like white power propaganda. I was like, what the hell? And that was because like so someone shared to me like a random ass video of like I think like Andrew Tate or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck is like how the fuck did I jump into like this? I did watch it. It was very interesting. It was a video of 2002. White family. And the guy said, oh, we're losing our race. And the video, like, it was 2002 and it was 2022. And there was, like, a bunch of, like, brown, like, black people and, like, I get, like, Asian people in the picture. And he was trying to say, like, look, because, like, on the right-hand side of the 2022, it was a cultural, like, inclusivity thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, let's bring all the folks together. Which I'm not against it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really should be like that. But the thing is, it was, like, weird because I'm like, he feels like his culture is gone. And I'm like, I don't know how to say this, but, like, I'm not saying I see where he's coming from, but like, I guess because I'm not white, like I don't really give a fuck, but I'm like, I guess if I was like in that same type of shit, I'd probably be like, that is weird, yo, like everyone is nowadays mixed, bro. You look around you, bro, everyone's fucking mixed.
Blending.
Yeah, but the thing is, people predicted this was gonna happen years ago though. So my thing is like, looking at it logically, like what the fuck, that does make sense. That was actually predicted. Like, what the fuck, people are gonna fuck, bro.
The real question is, why is that a problem though?
It shouldn't be a problem.
Right, but some people have a problem with just like keeping pure. Like take dog breeds for instance. Like when you have a pure dog, it's considered higher value.
This is money.
Why is that the same for people?
It's not the same for people.
No, people see like if you're strictly like one race, it's like I don't know, you're just seen differently.
I think
you see what I'm saying. Like your culture is fine. You're not mixing with others. You keep like arranged marriages. I'll take it like that.
There's devil's. I don't even want to play devil's advocate, but I guess I am by saying this. There are people who want to preserve their culture.
Yeah, that's
like
what I mean.
And I hear this argument, and like there is some truth to it because the thing is, bro, when you bring like people that are mixed, especially from like two different like cultures, like. Yo, yeah, that shit is not gonna be the same, bro. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You have to learn two different values now.
Yeah, I mean sometimes those values are completely different, bro. Like, I have friends that are from Pakistan and India, bro. Like, that shit get kind of wild, bro. Like, they can't even bring their families together, bro, because they'll like kill each other type shit. Like, I'm not too really familiar. I mean, like, I've heard bits and pieces about the whole like the situation in India and Pakistan, and like, I can't speak on it. Like, it was, like, but
So like in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they all used to be the one country.
Okay.
When British took over, they were the colony, right? And when so this is kind of controversial, but World War II, everyone talks about Hitler and how he persecuted the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking anything away from them, but like I think Jews got the best PR since then because there are more Indian soldiers died in World War II fighting for the British.
You know what?
And they were not even fighting for Indian freedom; they're fighting on behalf of the
Germans,
British.
Yeah.
And it's not just Indian.
The British, you said?
Yeah, the British.
Oh,
because India was a British colony, right?
Yeah.
It's not just Indians. Like African, like colonies from Africa, they send their soldiers.
Okay.
Like they all died for these white superpowers who just colonized everyone.
That's
like
true.
Britain, France, Italy.
Yeah. I mean, I think
You should change the genre of this to politics.
No,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, because the mental health part, bro, like.
The mental health part.
No, I'm coming to the point why India and Pakistan
Yeah.
are the way they are, even though they were the same country.
Yeah.
It's because when the British went to any of these countries, they were really good at divide and rule. So like a house cannot be defeated unless it's divided from within. So they taught them to hate each other on, like, oh, you're a little fairer than that person.
Oh, like the skin color.
The religion, and it's like, oh, in your culture, cow is sacred, but they eat the cow. So it's like they're just creating more divide. Before British came, there were not communal rights. The people respected each other's boundaries and religions. They were culturally bound, not religiously bound. British just came, wherever they went, they taught people how to hate. And that's why India and Pakistan, they then ended up becoming a Hindu nation and a Muslim nation. And India became more of an educated, like, liberal class, while Pakistan became more and more Islamic. And there was no, like, science in the driving seat. There was just, like, hatred against India. And that's it.
Okay. I think that's a good, I can round that up really.
To mental health?
Yeah, that's perfect. So, in terms of like norms we have in society now, that can create, you know, a broken mind or ideology, because something that breaks you is when you have a norm you're so familiar with, but then it's shattered by either someone or something. Like, take a trend for an instance, or like the cancel culture. A norm was be like, oh, same-sex marriage. That used to be the norm. Now it's like, all right, you know, a guy can marry a guy, a girl can marry a girl, or however the pronouns go. I'm not too familiar with them, but anything get anything married. That's what I'm taking it as. That breaks for, let's say, the baby boomer generation who grew up with same-sex marriage. That kind of like mentally.
When you say same-sex marriage, you mean?
Sorry.
What do you mean?
Opposing sex.
I mean, yeah,
heterosexual. Thank you.
Yeah.
Baby boomers had heterosexual marriages, or that was like what they're accustomed to, and now they see like a man getting married to a man, or a woman getting married to a woman.
Oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Some are indifferent, but some are also enraged. So, like,
it's so wild, but I mean, I guess
like
it's just what it is, you know?
Yeah, it is what it is, but for some people, like, their ways won't change, and it kind of flushes them, and that's what creates maybe a bit of conflict.
It's just
that lack of understanding. Chill. That lack of understanding.
What the fuck, they're boomers. They can't even see this at the time.
Like, I understand to a point that, okay, the more the genes mix, the more diversity at the genetic level is going to come out. Which means that you can be in a male body, but your genetic makeup could be like, oh, you just physically look like a male, typical male, but your, let's say, feminine hormones are more active. Those genes are more active than the male hormone. How much is that of environment versus, because our bodies do change, our mind does affect our body. Like, they have found out that you can literally change the shape of your own face just by positioning the tongue the right way.
Mewing, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't know how to do that.
I'm doing that stuff.
Yeah, so if that little...
Yeah. Like, relax your tongue, and then... Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird.
So if like that little shift in your consciousness and mindfulness can change your body that way, imagine the amount of your thoughts, amount of the kind of food that you're eating, like what kind of genetics it's activating inside you. Like the reason keto diet works in some diabetics, like type 2 diabetics, is because the moment you cut out glucose and carbs, your body's not secreting as much insulin. That changes the way your genes are. In the presence of insulin, there's a certain set of genes that are activated, and they become more of a fat storing kind of a body. In the absence of or limiting the amount of insulin in your bloodstream, it becomes not as a fat storing. You know, so you just your body start using
antagonistic control.
So like all that, like just I can understand that when you mix, that there's going to be more possibilities. So you can have people who I think they're trapped in the wrong bodies because in that moment their bodies, like the genetic expression is that, but it can change as well. So that doesn't bother me as much as saying that taking this, everyone, we literally are exposed to these ideas. These are very fresh ideas, and no one knows about what being gender fluid is. And people, they come at you with an authority. even if you're trying to ask questions just to learn about it, and people who themselves don't know, they just don't want to look like they're not allies to the movement. They just like get offended on someone else's behalf without themselves understanding these things.
Like that's like
like I kind of like I understand, because so when it comes down to this, like I would ask people like, hey, I don't understand what like gender fluid is, like and like I didn't mean to like offend anyone, but I'm like, guys, I don't understand how I could wake up feeling like a woman, but I'm not. Like I look.
If gender is a social construct,
yeah, like
how is this new ideology not a social construct?
Yeah, like it was like a very like weird like I would just sit down and like I would try to like really be like actual like, you know, like open about it. Like I don't mean to offend anyone. Like it's a genuine question, and sometimes people will like kind of get mad at me, and I'm like, yo guys, I generally don't know. Like I don't know where you guys are even getting this from. Like I'm not against it, because time like everything changes with time.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's so confusing to a point. I read this story coming from India. A transgender man married a transgender woman just because they believe in traditional marriage.
But isn't that just okay?
It's Uno reverse.
Yeah.
It's literally Uno reverse.
Yeah, well,
like,
it just dawned on me.
You give someone an Uno reverse and they get you back. That's literally what it is.
Let me repeat it. A transgender man married a transgender woman because they believe in traditional marriage.
And cancel.
Like everything around is just normal, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, it comes full circle.
Yeah.
So like, you can't get mad at it.
But a cisgender man wants to marry a cisgender woman. Yeah. That's like offensive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. That's not inclusive. Mm-hmm. But a transgender man does not like you were born as a woman who became a man. You were born as a man who became a woman, and you believe that men and women should marry each other.
That's like
what's it called? The Punnett square in genetics?
Yeah, wait, so like big B.
Yeah, that's literally
big
like
big little B, and then like recessive ones. Yeah. No, it's just kind of like, bro. If you think about it, bro, you just end up at the square one. You end up at square one. It's just like, okay.
History repeats itself.
Yeah.
It just looks different at this point.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So.
And I'm pretty sure like a lot of these ultra left people, a lot of them are fed up with this.
You know what?
Small fringe.
There is.
But they just don't have enough courage at the moment to speak out against them, because it's making them look bad. Because there are a lot of liberals that I know, they're more of a centrist.
Oh.
Like, and the problem is not that people are becoming less liberal or more conservative. It's just that the left themselves have lifted themselves and like moved so far left that even like a center left looks like a right to them.
Dude,
they have become their own enemies.
No, that's actually true. Dude, there's people I know that are like liberal and like originally they used to think kind of like that, and then they're like, bro, like what the fuck? I can no longer keep up, because it's like it starts defying like the whole science thing. Alright, so I used to be a leftist. I used to be like I wasn't like nearly as like liberal like with that, but I understand what some of these like arguments was like come from, as playing in bands and stuff, especially like when it comes to like hardcore bands and stuff. Like it's mostly like, and punk bands pretty much just like leftist to like almost anarchy. Like it's really that, like no one really thinks about like the right, like yeah. So it was just very interesting that at one point some of the like, well, I can't name anyone, but I'm just gonna say just associates I know were kind of like, yo guys, we really can't like do we just go with this? Because I mean it's kind of like,
can't oppose it.
No, bro, it's the social circles are going to judge you. You know what I'm saying?
We care too much about social circles thing.
Bro, when it brings your money in, you have to.
That's what I'm saying.
And I hate to say it.
So it's almost like...
No, but that fucks your mental up. You know why?
Does.
Because think about it, bro. You're forcing yourself to subscribe to ideology you don't care about. And the thing is, you're trapped.
It depends. What did you tell me? Don't get rid of your dignity for credibility?
Yeah, but some of these things isn't like too crazy.
Well, when you're in that type of... I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. Oh, so when you're in that type of industry, it's you're catering to that demographic.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much, if you want to stay relevant or keep having the earnings, you got to do what that demographic wants.
Yeah.
Even though it's so weird because the demographic starts off with like following you for what you produce, then it's just somehow it goes topsy turvy where you're producing for them. I don't know how that works in music, but that does shift a lot.
It works 100% in music, bro. If you watch people like
Katy Perry,
you watch people like
No, I just saw someone from afar, like, damn, she got big for it.
Yes?
Okay.
What the fuck? That was actually a really good time. What the fuck? Anyway, I think that chick's in my community psych class he's talking about. That's the one that was going to be on the podcast earlier.
Oh, what's she thinking about? Everything.
No,
Let's get red nasty on that joint.
So I like how it goes with music, bro. It's whatever the political climate is that their people are going to shit. Right now, it's the left and all that. It's just like, all right. Here's one thing I noticed: the liberals from 10 years ago are the conservatives of today, and that's how it will always be. And you'll never be able to outrun it.
The moment you start making money, you start voting Republican.
Listen, I had a conversation with this at work, and I said, bro, as soon as I started like making certain money, I'm like, yo, you know what? Fuck these taxes. Oh, no more eat the rich. Let's just go red. I'm like,
I am rich.
well, fuck you. I'm tired of living in a fucking van for 2 weeks, bro, not barely showering and going to Planet Fitness, using the Planet Fitness membership to shower. It was fun and all, man, but then you start getting older, you're like, man,
This ain't it.
fuck no. I want to have like a normal house. I look at everyone around me. I'm like, yo.
See that?
how's the
So
family?
you're saying that we should not listen to kids?
Like-
we should not let them make decisions for our society. Cut to the U.S. we live in right now. Kids are running.
They are.
Yeah.
No, because
To a point where our president can't even like hold a sentence together.
No, but the thing is, so how that ties to mental health is that, like, honestly, guys, we're kind of like killing ourselves in a way, bro, like mentally, because like we may agree to some of these things, but dude, like, bro, we're not, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. We just not like that, bro. Like, some of us, like, think about it, like, back to like the whole like catering to like the mainstream, bro. Like, what the fuck, like, bro. So, most people that believe this shit that you see on like commercials and stuff, yo, they don't think this shit, bro. They're selling it. They need bread.
Have you ever seen Mad Men?
Yeah.
Old
show.
Yeah, the
Good show.
advertisement, the world, they're actually teaching you what to think. Most of our thoughts are not even our own thoughts.
No, that's true, dude. Colleges
Conditioning.
Colleges teaches you what to think, not how to think. That's the problem with like, that's the problem with psych majors nowadays, bro. Professors,
Oh.
and you too eventually. What you're saying?
It's like humanities.
yeah.
In general,
They're conditioning you on what to think, not how to think anymore. Like critical thinking has gone out the window.
I'm pretty sure you guys know of Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Ooh, he's a
Yes.
man. Yeah, that's a. Yeah, he's spicy, bro. He's spicy.
Yeah,
dude.
like
I listen to some
he's
Wait,
like
that
world-renowned name in clinical psychology, and
They're trying to take his. They're trying to take
he's
his
taking.
degree
They're
away.
trying to take his license away because he's trying to talk logic into them.
Yeah, but you know, it's like I.
Trying to talk logic and you want to take that away. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, well, welcome to the whatever's
Hey,
going
you guys
on.
are educating me as well.
No,
I listen
because
to Jordan Peterson.
no,
for, like,
because
motivation.
it's like I don't really
Like
listen.
90% of the stuff that he says
Yeah.
has actually made me a better person because he compels me to think about myself.
I
And
know-
take like ownership of my own actions and on my thoughts and on my own happiness and stuff.
My accountability, I've become way more accountable for my fuck ups in life, 100%.
Facts.
Like one thing I've noticed that, and I could never unsee after he said, he's like, look at all your English majors and your psych majors are all women, most of them. And I was like, what the fuck? Because dude, when I was young, I wanted to be a psych major because I like talking to people and all this shit. And I was like, bro, eventually I was like, all right, I'm not. Life went on. I was like, not trying to be a psych major, but I was like, then I just went into like what I thought bio, blah. And I was like, because it's more like science structured and stuff, and it's like, now I'm like, damn. Like, that's why like the psych and like English majors are all ran really pretty much by women. Honestly, there's really no problem with that. Like, I really don't care. Like, fuck it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't like stop it. Like, you know, like, and I've noticed that like more men are like in like STEM fields. Now, hold up. Not to say, but there are more women coming into STEM fields, which yo, it's cool. I ain't gonna lie.
We don't really know if they're coming because they're interested in it or they're trying to level the playing field.
That is like 41.
Like outcome, what's it called? Equality of outcome.
Okay, so yeah, equality of outcome does not. Was it equality?
Of opportunity.
Opportunity
should
does
be.
not.
It's okay because that's merit based.
What was it? What they say? Equality of opportunity does not equal.
Equality of outcome.
Yeah, because bro, yeah, that's true, yo. Like, bro, some of these women could be like in these engineering. Oh, sorry. Yeah, some of these women could be these engineering things, and you know, they might not get a job, and you know, it's unfortunate.
And again, to quote Jordan Peterson, he's like, men in general are interested in things. But like women are in general are
people,
interested in people.
Yeah,
So that's not like
that's what social science are dominated by.
yeah, and like the world is literally built by men who will never come contact with.
No, I mean, I would say, the building's probably built by like some Spanish
Exactly.
people. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'll say, bro, probably built by some Latinos and shit. Built scaffolding this shit.
In general, like in terms of genders, like
physical,
physically speaking, the world is built by men. Like, how many women do you think are working in the oil rigs?
Not many. Not too many.
Or do you want to level the playing field there?
Oh, you want to say something?
I go for it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
With that thing, no.
Shit.
Good, I'll just crouch. With that thing, no, I would say,
You getting active, bro? He's getting active. You must have said something that he's kind of like, you agreeing with.
no, I got distracted. Anyway, basically what I would say in that point of view is, yes, there are facilities that men are like, you would want a man to be in. Oil rig, bro, you don't want no fucking woman in there. I'm sorry.
Why?
Bro, physically speaking,
Okay.
if we were to put a woman in a gym and we put a man in a gym, both of them have not touched the weights in their lives. And we have them both have a personal trainer. One personal trainer who treats them exactly like the man is going to build muscle a lot more. Men are physically men are physically more stronger than women.
Physically, yes.
Natural proclivity.
There's a lot of factors that go into
Okay.
that. I don't want to sound like that.
Of course, no, you're right. You're right.
There's
You're right.
nutrition,
100%.
there's sleep.
But I'm talking about the STEM things. Women are getting into STEM fields. I've met some brilliant fucking women who have been getting into this thing, and they've been outsmarting, a lot of people. So when it comes to like smarts and STEM majors, I don't think it matters about gender. It just matters about intelligence, like what you're capable of doing. I understand the oil rig, going down underwater, doing stuff that like requires shit to be fucking done, doing sewage and all that, bro. But going on the skyscraper, nah. I don't want no girl on there. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything. I'm not trying to sound sexist or nothing. But like, I'm not gonna be one of those dickheads who's gonna be like, oh, there's a woman pilot. That's stupid. That's an idiot. Like this idiot speaking to me.
I found the quote from Jordan Peterson, by the way. That's what I was trying to find before we went off to the next topic. In order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive.
That is true.
That's how I take that.
Yeah.
Like, so before I speak on like topics such as that, I really have to.
I'm pretty
think.
sure.
I gotta be ready for an argument.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people they don't agree with me a lot. I already know that.
But you have to risk because you're thinking about.
I don't give a
Not
fuck
what-
about
not
the risk.
What you think, it's how you think.
Yeah,
It's critical thinking, yeah.
I've been doing that, but like, pretty much, yeah. But when it comes to like intellectual, like what people are intellectually capable of, I think that it should always be open. It doesn't matter what gender. What matters is that stuff. But you talked about also how women are inclined to act in certain. What was that topic about again?
No, I was saying, I was just trying to quote Jordan Peterson that he said like men in general are interested in things, and women in general are interested in people.
Yeah.
That's why you see more nurses as women
Yeah.
and more engineers as men, because like they'd rather sit on their craft and work on their craft and build things without like interacting with other people. But women are the one, because women have this capability of carrying babies.
Yeah.
So that they do go through their fair share of physical pain and whatnot, but I think they come with genetic predisposition of being mentally strong, because I'm pretty sure childbirth, it's just changing your bone structure and stuff. It's not an easy.
I heard it's like pooping out a baby elephant.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that women are not completely weak.
No.
But like,
pain.
yeah.
Like they can take.
They can take. I think they can handle pain better than men can.
It's not even
Facts. Big fact. I don't care what sport we play. I don't care what's the toughest shit we can do.
Like even in a
Birth is-
relationship, women are always like most of the times. I'm not talking about the modern day women. I'm talking about the traditional like 60s, 70s, 80s when like
even physical. Okay, so even
They'll walk a mile just to get to you.
yeah.
A mile is not that long.
So I'm still trying to understand how this is about human
behavior,
mental health, but I think now we're
it's
just
it's so the topic is sorry. The topic is broken
I mean,
minds, like things that broke you. But we're saying right now, at least from best understanding of this conversation, is that we've all been broken to a point where we don't fit that standard that was growing up. Like we're in a questionable phase where like everything is being either canceled or like you're giving it a second take, like saying something and then ending it with like, are you sure? Like, is this really right?
Yeah.
Because everyone has, entitled to an opinion, but it's almost like everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put it as general as possible, but that's what I'm understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. And with the woman and men thing, I would say, because I train people in boxing, some of these people are girls. Well, first time I'm training people, and one of them's a girl, and she's masculine, motherfucker. She fucking cool. Love it. Is Arika, the person who's upstairs? Bro, she's learning fast. She's learning fast as fuck. And I honestly don't... Women are capable of being strong as a man. Well, kind of. Yes, they are. However, I don't think whenever I ask a woman, like, hey, why don't you just work on your biceps? Why don't you just work on your upper body instead of trying to look like a T-Rex all the time? With just a big booty and just... The same goes for like, one of these like insecure men who will never work on their legs.
First pyramid.
Yeah, they look like the letter T, just... They have the possibility, but socially, how we see it in society is looked down upon by women as a woman to have buff muscles and everything. I don't know why, but I guess they just...
There's a community that like accepts like buff women.
And I fucking love that community, and I'm part of that community.
And this is where like the whole broken mind thing comes into play. Like there's communities that...
I'm so confused on what we're talking about.
So we started with a sentence that breaks your mind, and then you have to act like it never happened.
But we're not
now we're at a part where like a demographic or a particular, favor that you like, but it's broken other people's minds because it's not that standard anymore. So like you say you have a fondness for buff women, where you're also saying that that's not, appropriate. Like it's not all women approve of that.
I don't give a fuck if women approve it or not.
And that's where we're at right now, is that people just don't give a flying fuck. They're still gonna like what they like and do what they want to do. Whereas prior there was like a standard where everyone kind of fit together.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen.
Like red means stop. We can all agree that red means stop. So there are now people out there that'll say, no, red means just floor it, bro. Like if no one's at the lights, like you can cross the line. Like that's where we're at. Like people will really just be like, yo, it's fine.
Yeah, people like to argue just for shits and giggles now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's like breaking people. So from a broken mind, it's also breaking your ability to make decisions.
Yes.
You will do what you want to do because you want to do it, not because of what society thinks, but because your intentions are more important than the general safety of everyone else.
Have you heard that saying, a pocket full of pennies makes more noise than a pocket full of $100 bills?
Oh, goddamn. You know that shit in the club? Yeah.
So like people who have like literally nothing, who know literally nothing about anything, have the most to say, while people who have PhDs, they have to like think twice before they speak, even though they have the authority to speak.
Money talks, wealth whispers.
Bro, I think society's gaslighting itself. I think.
First of all, I don't even understand what gaslighting means.
Wait.
Who come? Like you guys, these people went to humanities and like to like come to become intellectuals, and they came up with what like. Gaslighting?
Gaslighting
like I generally believe that society's really
gaslighting. You know how expensive gas is? Bro, that's a sign that gaslighting can only come out of a rich culture. It will never come out of a poor country. They will not even raise gas in way even in an argument.
I think that like personally, like I mean we all know what gaslighting really means, but I just think like in a weird way. No, think about it, because I feel like we're purposely like, bro, we're almost purposely diverting from the truth in a way. That's what I mean by like the term gaslighting, because I mean think about it, bro. Like, all right, so how you said like with the red. All right, so imagine, bro, if I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, the light is red. I'm going to go because it means go, but realistically, we all know it means stop. And you're like deep down, bro, you're kind of like. You'll be like, okay, I know it means stop, but I'm gonna go because maybe it does mean. Then you're like, what the hell, bro? I feel like people kind of gaslight themselves when they subscribe to certain like ideals, and that's what makes a broken mind.
Right.
Because you're like, damn, bro, like
You're overcoming that conditioned response.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Red means stop, but yellow means speed up.
I feel that way. At the right
Yellow
distance,
means
Depending on how far you are from the camera.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
let me give the definition of gaslighting real quick according to Urban Dictionary.
Bro, no,
Gaslighting-
you can't go in Urban Dictionary,
That's
bro.
the best way to get it.
Or Urban Dictionary.
I'm pretty sure it's not in Oxford. I can look it up in
Bro,
Oxford.
you probably
too.
look up
Alright,
somewhere actually.
We'll compare Oxford to Urban, but I'm using Urban because it gives a pretty good definition. Gaslighting, a form of intimidation or psychological abuse, sometimes called ambient abuse, where false information is presented to the victim, making them doubt their own memory, perception, and quite often their sanity. A classic example of gaslighting is to switch something around on someone that you know they're sure to notice, but then denying knowing anything about it, and explain that they must be imagining things when they challenge these changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, that's crazy, because you know what I'm talking about, that interview with that one girl?
Oh. Wait, what's... Oh!
Yeah, alright, hold on.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Fucking... Damn, actually, that was a heavy one. Yeah, that was like, I did not expect that one,
What did she say?
Oh.
man. I feel like... Well, her name's anonymous, so we can say it.
Wait, isn't it gonna be in the video anyway? So.
Yeah, we should probably just wait till that video.
Yeah, we should probably. Yeah, that's just kind of crazy. Or like if you do like kind of tell them real quick and all that, and just chop this part out.
According to Oxford, for gaslighting, it is defined as manipulating someone by psychological means into accepting false depiction of reality or doubting their own sanity.
That makes a little.
Isn't that what the left is doing?
Yeah.
Like technically speaking, if you apply this definition to their
Yeah.
actions, that's exactly what the left is doing. They're gaslighting everyone.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, okay, I understand there's suffering in your life.
Yeah.
I understand like everyone has issues.
You want to work from home?
Yeah, like, but okay, what is the solution? Let's talk, like, enough about the problem. Everyone has problems. Like,
What's the solution for gas?
we all live in the same society. We're all affected by the same rules.
Yeah.
I know.
Right? Like, there's one way to like look at the rules and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I'm doing and go by it. And one is like, I must change the rules because I don't agree with them.
I think I have, well, this is just a personal opinion for like a solution possibly.
Yeah.
You guys can free to disagree,
Yeah.
gaslight the fuck out of me.
What the fuck? It's all recorded.
The way it can go is, what I think the solution for this is that we have tiers in terms of earning an income, which comes from like experience or degree. So like if you go to school for 4 years to be like an engineer, think about how much an engineer would contribute to society versus like me, I'm a psych major, versus how much a psych major would contribute. Yes, psych is for the people, but engineer is like almost for like a basic living. Like a chemical engineer, they're
Medications.
Exactly.
Chemicals, like
right.
weapons, medicine. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Me, like psychology, therapy, like
Some people just need someone to talk
some
to.
people, yeah, right.
Yeah,
We
like,
need someone
yeah.
to talk to,
Yeah,
but
that's
like
a fact.
in terms of life and death and like longevity, like not
We
everyone.
need a
like
shelter.
insulin's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Some people can't produce insulin like that, so we have artificial versions that people inject into themselves. Chemical engineer would get significantly more pay because of that. And I think given time period, how long you work in the field or how long you're doing it, then your pay increases gradually till it's a reasonable amount. But we have to accept the fact that in education there are tiers to earning, and depending on how much responsibility, how much debt you take, if you can't pay off your debt within a certain amount of time, you have to serve it another way. That's just my personal opinion. Rather than just walk around with that heavy shoulder, there should be like an immediate like, this is way out of field. Like, don't take this into consideration. But like, if you don't pay off your debt in 10 years, you got to work in the coal mine for 5. Like some shit like that. Then like, that's just an example though.
In the sense that you gotta take shitty jobs because your degree didn't lead to your dream job.
That's the funny way of my life punishing you when you take some bullshit ass thing. And I realize that there's certain decisions in my life will punish you if you're not on your shit, bro. Like stuff like that. Like, bro, a bio degree, man, is fucking worthless. Like sometimes, bro, man, as a junior and a bio major, I'm just like, man, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And this might hurt some bio teachers' feelings, but why aren't you a doctor? Do you really want to be teaching?
Man, it pays a ton. Fuck.
Oh, no, I got a good answer to that. All right, so what I've learned is that people who become teachers, not speaking for everyone, but you're in this cycle of being an everlasting student. If your degree doesn't get you where you want to get to, you kind of like say, all right, I'm going to go pursue a master's. I'm going to go pursue like a PhD. I'm going to get the next level to like boost my salary. And then you end up in this cycle where if you're not okay with what you're doing, you just end up teaching it to the next generation. But if you're not passionate about it, that's what makes you like a bad teacher, and that's where students get bad grades, and then that's where that cycle builds. Where like,
nah, bro, also you got students need accountability, bro. Some students just
of course,
stupid.
But at the same time, having a good teacher can change your life.
No.
For me, I've met some great psych teachers that have literally made me want to pursue a PhD in neuropsych.
No, look, man. Shout out to this guy, Dr. Kruger. Reason I went to like being a math major, best math professor I ever had. Made me like math is kind of like beautiful, you know. Like I get what you mean, but sometimes, bro, like
some people need that.
Some students are like just. Like I said, like right when you're out of the pod real quick, we said how, bro, not everyone is meant to be a doctor or a lawyer. Correct. Some people don't have it, and that's okay. And but the thing is, you know, that comes from like the immigrant mentality where we're put to like, you're fucking worthless. What the fuck? I ain't come all the way across the fucking world for you to be some fucking barista.
Yeah.
Barista's hard, by the way. top 5 hardest jobs in America.
That shit hard. Yeah, that shit hard.
But you know, there's also a diversity within one, what's it called, field. Like even in medicine, like not all doctors are the same.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
no.
They don't all get the same pay because depending on their scores and like their specialties. Yeah. So like one of the main problems with two problems with our education system currently is education and the system.
Okay. Wait, what?
Two words.
Actually going. That's actually good. Yeah. Hey,
that's tough.
You're coming through with this.
The reason I say it that because like most of the universities in America are private. The tuition, the cost of education is too high, and if you fail one subject and you have to redo it,
that's another few grand again.
Yeah. So I think people. That's why I feel like there should be more funding in high schools and there should be more apprenticeship programs when you're in high school because you're in the right age where like you can get influenced by your role models, and if you get the role models exposed to you very early, you don't have to like stumble through so much debt and find yourself in college. While you can just go in college like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is why I feel like bio was a big scam for me, is because if I went into I'm going into nursing as a master's student after like working in healthcare and realizing, oh, I'm a better personality for a nurse. I can be a better healthcare provider as a nurse practitioner than as a physician or a PA. But imagine if I was exposed to working in healthcare environment when I was in high school. I could have just gotten into
straight to RN.
RN, BSN, done my bachelor's.
It is wild because I have noticed, bro. I know bio people that graduate from biological science from here, this very school, fucking nursing, straight to nursing, and that's why like I honestly I'm saying I'm actually kind of mad at the fact that my bio major is just a waste of fucking time. You know what's funny? Every single person that is not pre-med in my major, fucking bro, they're insanely smart. A's on every exam. Then you got these pre-meds, bro. I remember you're like, hey man, I'm like sure to get a fucking B sometimes. You know, occasionally I'll get an A, but like, yo, I don't understand why people who like are not pre-med, bro, they're so fucking smart, bro. Like in these classes, like, and it's wild to me. Like, I think some of it's mentally, like some of it's
mentally, but at the same time, it's I like to call tests like games. It's almost like a pattern. Like you're just trying to find that pattern in the right niche of what you're studying and what's being taught to you, like to get to the next level. The difference is people who are bio majors and not in pre-med. There's no. I'm not going to say this crazy.
The scores are insane, bro. I've seen them.
The scores are great, but there's not as much pressure in terms of like you're not holding someone's life in your hands.
Okay.
Like
I get that. Yeah.
You're not as responsible, so like you're not thinking twice. You're thinking, all right, what's the next answer, or how am I going to solve? Dude, I haven't taken a bio class in a minute, other than like anatomy, but like cells. Come on, I get it. Cells are important. Is the foundation of all life.
Basic unit of life, pal.
Basic unit of life, but how often are you going to hold a cell and be like, oh, this could be the cell that's going to change everything?
Wanna know something? This is your logic. You're holding them right now anyway.
So pretty much, yeah. Holding cells versus holding like a
Where's
newborn.
philosophy majors at? I feel like that's a very philosophy like major type way of looking at it with like bio mix.
Cell versus a newborn, just think about it. Like what's more important?
That's a clump of cells.
A newborn's a clump of cells, but it's also
that's
living. It's an actual being.
Yeah, that's a. I forgot. Damn, bro. Shout out to my fucking One Fortitude teacher. I forgot already.
Like, what's more important, mitosis or like how much
Bro,
saline
I know.
solution you
Let me
need
tell
for,
you,
like,
they actually all ties in together.
it
I know
does.
this thing, yeah, like
but
that.
it's just it blows me so much.
I think what you're talking about is like learning it when you don't need to. Yeah, it's
Yeah, learning versus application.
Yeah, there you
learning
go.
versus
Application.
application.
I think another problem is that we're not taught how to learn.
Right.
Learning how to learn is more
we're taught how to
important.
think, like you said.
Yeah, like-
yeah, there's no critical
It's
thinking.
like a first principles, what's it called? Process of learning. You if you want to learn something and you have inclination towards it, you're passionate. I don't want to use the word passionate about it because passion comes and goes. Like no one is
Right.
passionate about one thing all
Bro,
the
that's so
time.
fucking
right?
true.
Consistency
That
is
is
like-
so fucking true.
Like in a moment you become really interested in certain things and you want to learn it. You need to understand how to break it down to its like more
To its
fundamental
core.
parts and try to rebuild it. That's why I feel like biology was scammed to me because once I graduated, did not like touch my books for like 3-4 years, and I started studying for MCAT all over again. I've lost all my knowledge, but now my approach towards it was like I got to relearn everything in order to sit for this damn MCAT. And that's when I've discovered that I learned way better because now I was not studying for a grade. So now I'm like,
To move on.
yeah, like if I'm breaking down things and trying to build
I
them
see-
up together,
I
I'm
see what
like,
you mean.
I'm learning things that I missed while I was like stuck on a GPA or a grade, like versus studying for the MCAT to test more broad spectrum of the way you think about things, not like how much you know
You learn the
about
actual
things.
concepts,
Yeah.
as opposed to like learning how to do the problem.
Yeah,
You learn
so-
the actual, once you learn the concept, you can do any problem. That's a fact.
Yeah, and we're not taught
It's critical
how to-
thinking. That's the
Yeah.
critical thinking part of it.
The critical thinking is still a little like there are different kinds of thinkings for different stuff.
Well, for different
Like to make a
studies.
policy, let's say, as an economist, versus a doctor who's trying to save a life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're two
yeah,
different
yeah,
ways
they-
of
yeah,
thinking.
that
Yeah.
is true. That is true. Because
Yeah.
one involves saving lives, the other one involves people losing money, and you might actually end their life accidentally through it because of some bullshit, like things that might lead to more debt. So I mean, kind of I know what you mean. I know exactly. It's yeah.
So it's like we should be more exposed to, instead of like picking up AP classes or getting ready for college, we should be exposed to like, what do you want to do in college when you're spending money out of your pocket, because it's gonna get expensive real fast and you don't get enough chances to rediscover yourself. But you should be able to rediscover yourself or discover your like interests and disinterests in high school when education is relatively free.
Hmm.
And how it ties to mental health is because when you come to colleges,
There's so much
your
pressure.
risk is higher, and in
The
the sense
reward's
that
lower,
your
so-
body is changing, everyone around you is like as afraid as you are, and everyone's
You
trying to
can't
fake
tell.
it.
Yeah, that's so true.
They're masking it with either partying or
Yeah.
some form of coping.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah.
So-
And we don't think about money the way we think about money in our 20s, the way we think about in our 30s, because when debt piles up, and
Fuck, how am I gonna pay this off? Or
Yeah.
how am I gonna make this?
and that's when you make bad decisions. Like, what if we were taught how to pick careers in high schools and learn how to cope with technology?
I don't think college is for everybody. I'm gonna say this. I know it's a hot take. I don't think college is for everybody. I think some people just don't belong in college.
Neither is rap.
Like, and I know, no, fuck, bro. Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
College ain't for everybody,
bro,
but
if
rap
you
ain't
fucking,
either.
bro, if you fucking suck, bro, you can't get any better. People are like, I can be a better rapper. No, you can't, bro. Like you can, because every time I hear, oh, I'm a better rapper, they try to sound more lyrical. And in this market, no one gives a fuck about lyricism.
It's the
So-
beat.
Yeah, and TikTok.
That's true. All right, so now this is where I feel like I can ask one more question before like we start to wrap things up.
Okay.
So in terms of college being quite the gamble, socializing with other people here, how do you feel about that in terms of growth and overall culture? Because I feel like at this school particularly, there's a lot of like broken minds here. I've never met more students who talk about how much they make, how much money they'll make for a job, more than actually enjoying the career.
But go to a business school, bro.
Like I talked to
go
kids.
to NYU.
That's different though. They know they talking about money. Here it's like, oh, I want to be a PA. Why do you want to be a PA? They make 6 figures, easy hours.
I don't have to go to med school to make that much amount of money.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's not
Versus,
bad.
like,
It's not a bad way to look at it, bro.
Like I argued physical therapists and like, yeah, but they don't make a lot. I heard the work's a lot, which is.
I have noticed that a physical. This might sound controversial coming from my mouth.
On
but
your ass.
Hey, I'm with you. I'll
ass.
back you up.
Physical therapist puts in more work than a physician.
I've
I
heard
work
that.
as a
Yes.
scribe.
I've heard
I've
that.
seen them
Yes.
see
I've
a
heard that.
patient, be like, "Oh, you have this problem? Here's a script for a PT." A PT figures out what's wrong with your mechanics, and they don't get paid shit.
Dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
But you guys
wild.
go-
Like they barely make 96, 97.
You guys go for like school.
And they be coming in with like 300K a day.
Yeah.
Wait, so you guys go to like same amount of time to school, and you guys barely break the 6.
No, it's
figures?
definitely less years of schooling.
I thought it
It's
was
like
4.
it's like a year less. It's
You-
3 to 4.
It's still a lot. That's still a lot of bread being used.
Average amount of debt for a PT coming out at our age is 120 to like 300K.
God damn, what?
I don't know how that depends where you're getting the school
Yeah,
from, but
yeah.
like it's 120 minimum.
Now the cost is gonna go a little up as well because
Inflation.
2 reasons. One is that 2030 is a really important world of medical timing.
2030?
2030.
Yeah, we,
A big chunk of population is gonna turn 65, which means they qualify for Medicare, which means that all these healthcare professionals are gonna get reimbursed for all their
that
billings.
money coming.
Yeah,
That
so
money
that's why
coming.
PTs are going to be in demand, and there are a lot more private universities who are willing to give you admission without GREs, and they're more expensive.
you know what? I've actually heard this in one of my HCST 100 class,
I wanna take it.
and actually that's why. So pretty much Gen X folk are going to be new old ones and baby boomers kind of. But you know what's? I mean, that's why also grief therapist or something. So grief based therapists are making a killing right now, because all the boomer
base.
like I forget what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like grief something. So it's like it's great. It's called grief therapy. I think they call it. So these guys are making a killing in the psych space
I'm gonna look it up.
because so many grandparents are dying right now, bro, and it makes sense.
But you know, there's since
Bro,
we're
there's
talking
money in
about-
misery.
We're talking
Like
about
in our
therapy
lips.
and psych world.
Yeah.
There's a
Well, there's neuropsych.
you know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, the
He
goat.
made
Wait,
a
that alien guy? That's like
Yeah,
the
he's
space
a,
dude?
he's a physicist.
he's an astrophysicist. He made a prediction. Is like the way he said by 2050, we're gonna lose 90% of therapists and psychologists
To what? To what
to
exactly?
psychedelics and
Dude, good topic. Oh, I'm waiting for this.
because our understanding of our brain and the way nervous system is structured, it's gonna become exponentially, especially with the introduction of AI, it's gonna become exponentially so high that we can just fix problems with like chemically controlling your brain, and you're not gonna need to go talk to a person. Because there's not gonna be like lower level, like depression, anxiety, and stuff is gonna consider it as cold and flu of mental health world.
That is true, you know.
Because everyone is freaking depressed, or they feel that they're depressed, or like losing an iPhone, or people not liking their pictures, or
I hate that number.
Well, one person I like,
Yeah.
like that doesn't matter, you know.
like, oh, my grandmother died, and I'm posting. It's like I'm more sad about people didn't like my post about my grandmother than my grandmother's death.
Yo,
That is
I that is true, bro. When people die, like the first thing I see a lot of people post is like a picture of their dead relative, and I'm like, man, respect the dead.
That's right.
Respect the dead, you know.
According to NIH, the definition of grief therapy is treatment that helps a person work through a greater than normal reaction to a loss, such as the death of a loved one.
Mhm.
This reaction may include behavioral and physical problems, extreme mourning, and being unable to separate emotionally from the person who died. Grief therapy may be individual or group therapy. Had to get that out the way.
No, but like that's what I'm telling you right now. Like the grief
because
therapy.
of COVID, we lost a lot of.
That's why right now
Yeah.
they're literally, dude. I've heard about this like in the
And
market. They're literally, especially with the mental health crisis increasing right now exponentially, bro. People like I hate to say it, but like I don't mean to sound sensitive, but these therapists right now are like for real, like they're rubbing their hands, bro.
They are, but then
Me. I'm kidding.
You're not
I'm
like
kidding.
before I choose
that's
to
me.
go, like my way of looking at things, like the way I choose to go to people if I want to get certain things resolved is like I want to understand why the person chose that career.
Right. That's why like I said earlier about the money thing. I asked people like, why do you want to be a PA or why do you want to be a physical therapist?
Money.
Like, are you
And I'm like-
literally interested in the way human body works? Because your
Right.
perspective of treating something it changes depending on whether you were the whole responsibility of your education was on an instructor versus you took 90% of that responsibility yourself. You taught things yourself and went to experts to clear doubts. Those two people are very different people because one is going to give you a real answer, one is going to give you a textbook solution based on a ICD code that they have to build
Facts.
around.
I see
And
it.
quick spin off of that. If asking people about their careers, and if you tell me you're about it for the money, this is my personal opinion. I'm gonna take it. You're gonna take that profession the same way you took some of these classes. And you're gonna probably try to cheat through it. Like you're probably gonna Google everything. You're not really care. You like, I get how school
Fuck,
gets.
man.
What?
Fucking blow my cover right now.
Yeah, sure. I feel like we've all been there to an extent. Like we gotta like use the internet.
Yeah,
but
but
like,
you're
that's
gonna
what-
cut this part out, yo, because you
What?
talk kind of crazy right here with the cheating
What
thing,
do you
bro.
mean crazy? I didn't even say it was on an exam or a test or even schoolwork.
You said on the classes. Oh, you have like the highest cheating rate in this fucking uni, bro.
All right, now you're the Anyways, all I'm trying to say is people will go under the rug to get what they want to get. Like that's why Elon Musk is pushing AI forward so much because he wants us to absorb the information quicker. Because pretty much, if you were to take a test and you had your phone with you, you're more likely to get all the answers right than you were to just be without technology.
Oh, yeah.
So like he's just trying to put that one and one together to go hand in hand. But right now, because we don't have that,
Technology.
if you first focus on money, your quality of care isn't going to be as efficient.
I guess since you're like less passionate about it, you're not gonna take your time and really sit
Yeah.
down and get to know the
Yeah.
person because everyone's gonna be like, all right, you're good, you're healed. you're
Exactly.
healed, you're healed." Yeah,
Take it as like no, I'm not gonna call it financial aid. Never mind.
Let me get some.
Yeah, like you know how when you make a financial aid submission and they just take their time to get back to you.
Oh yeah, they won't take the time to charge you though. They quick as shit.
Exactly.
They
I
quick
think
as shit
one
to
idea that I like about coming from Elon Musk is when he talked about universal basic income.
Yeah, I'm here for
In the
it.
sense that
You mean
like
communism?
it is like eventually it's gonna become communist because if there's a huge wealth gap, like let's say 3% of the world's population holds 97% of the money, which like there are 3 billionaires in the United States who hold as much as money as like if they chose to give up $8 billion each, just $8 billion each,
Yeah.
you can eliminate homelessness.
Is Bezos still in the U.S. or is he?
I mean, he's
is
still
he
the
still
US.
voyaging?
He's still the US.
Gates, Elon Musk, and Bezos,
Damn.
and then Warren Buffett and whatnot.
Who's the dude that owns all like the luxury brands? He owns like Louis Vuitton,
Oh,
No idea.
Gucci, all that.
I
You know what I'm talking about?
don't think he's American, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
That's
guy
European.
that sounds very European.
He's like the richest man in the world right now. That's why.
which makes sense, yeah.
Because he lost like $7 billion. to
Bro, if he
Vuitton.
owns a bunch of euro, most likely, from a fiscal point of view, he's most likely going to be richer even than the richest American. I guess.
Yeah. So Elon said that like, hey, you know, in society there are always going to be rich people and poor people. The
Right.
problem is not that there are rich people and poor people. It's like poor are so poor that they can get their basic needs met. So if we just put everyone on we calculate like okay this how food that you need in a month to stay healthy, not overeating or undereating. It's not like not dessert, like actual nutrition, right? And like this is the basic education, this is job, whatnot. So like okay, this is the money that you're gonna require minimum to be happy. And let's say we give everything, we pay that money to people and let the machines work and let the economy. So even
That sounds like Wall-E. If you guys know that Disney movie.
Wow.
so like that's a basic income that you get so that you don't have to be in poverty, but then you can still go out and use that money to get degrees and get higher paying jobs and whatnot. But everyone will get the
Same thing.
yeah. So there's no crime or anything. That's actually. It does come to the communists, like, okay, yeah, the government controls everything, everyone gets equal, but then because like, everyone is equal,
It's balanced, just less
Yeah.
chaos.
Conrad.
It makes sense.
yeah,
Conrad.
it becomes more of a comrade. But like that's still, and everyone, and then you combine that with Bernie Sanders' idea of Medicare for all, like that's.
You a Bernie fan?
I actually worked for Bernie Sanders' campaign. for 4
Yeah.
years.
I was like, alright, so yeah, as a person that like jumped from the left, yeah, I was like a Bernie Sanders like a fan.
He's not as left as we think he is.
No, he's not.
Bernie would be.
Yo,
He's
bro.
very conservative liberal.
Yeah.
His only crazy idea is Medicare for all. That's
Yeah.
it. And taxing the rich.
Dude, I'm just saying, bro. All these people are bro. This is the most political podcast we've ever fucking filmed. I'm just letting you know.
It's only episode 3.
So yeah, we gotta
It's okay to switch
but
up.
I'm gonna say this though. Any of those like Democrats that are filthy fucking rich, bro, they're just wolf in sheep clothing. They're pretty much as conservative as they can get. But the thing is, and they'll just give these leftist ideals to pull in the youngin masses, bro. What the fuck, dude? The Bernie Sanders campaign literally was selling a shirt that I almost a crew neck that I almost bought because it looked hard.
It was made in America.
It was hard.
Produced by American
I
workers.
mean, fuck, it was made in America. But you know what I'm talking about? The Bernie Sanders like building run. That should look hard. I wanted to hit a skate park and be like, yo, take a picture with that shit. Should look hard.
Like,
the trip was hard.
The reason I agree with the Medicare for all with Bernie is like imagine the amount of money that we burned in the Middle East, or Iraq and Afghanistan.
Stay right there.
Trillions and trillions of dollars. And what?
Stay right there.
How-
Don't you
and
move on.
It's not even about the money. Like, how old are you?
What?
How old are you?
I'm
What's your
right now. 29.
20,
No,
20?
29.
29? How old are you?
19.
19. How old are you?
25.
On average, 21-year-old kids died fighting a war for these old men sitting in the Congress. 21 years old, not even graduated from college. They died. $7 trillion fucking dollars burned. And what's happening to Afghanistan now? What the fuck did they die for? And why can't we use that money to give health insurance to everyone?
It went right back.
Like, find money. Find the fucking money that you burned. And the people who died in the burn pits, the American soldiers who are not getting, even in the richest army in the world, it can't even give insurance to their veterans who died for the country. Like, come on. There is enough money. If we have 3 billionaires who own as much as money as 97% of the rest of the population, we have fucking money. There's so much money, and they're just sanctioned by these same politicians. Because all they care about is being in power and how much money they can get in contributions legally from these people. And as long as they keep their pockets and their family members wealthy, they don't give shit about.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
That's why I like
cares
Bernie,
about-
because his message never changed. He was as radical as he was in the 60s.
He was very consistent.
For now, yeah.
Yeah, as
And
opposed.
I want to work in healthcare, and I see like the disparities, and yeah, people have like ownership of their own actions, but come on, man, like we're the richest country in the world. If we can burn $7 trillion on a war that we did not ask for, we can give everyone basic health care. Like, if not the full big surgeries, they get to be treated as humans, seen as humans, and be like told what's wrong with them. At least seen by a doctor. You know, that's all most of these people ask for. And of course, there's mental health issues, because once people can't even know what's wrong with them, and they have to go to like shitty jobs, and while on their cell phone, everyone is projecting a life which is, oh, look at me, I'm so happy. And this guy's like, how the fuck are they so happy? What am I doing wrong? That's a lie too. That algorithm is also a lie too. Like, that's where, like, I'm not a big fan of government, but there are certain things that government should take control in their own hands, starting with healthcare. Because we have seen what private industry has done with healthcare.
It has enlarged.
Like
The wealth gap.
87% of the people who run healthcare have no medical background. They're businessmen.
Yeah, no, that is true.
And then doctors become money-minded because they're under so much debt. They will only like treat people who have insurance that can get reimbursed.
Yeah, you'll see it in patient
Yeah.
first, and the small guys, like, which makes sense from a logistical perspective. Yeah.
So there are certain points I understand why the left wants to become more of a communist, because capitalism, in terms of the money, the game and stuff, they are so behind. They will never be able to rise up to the level of like people in 80s and 90s. Like, owning a house in 80s and 90s was much easier than even with the college graduate now.
A really crappy, like even a shitty house nowadays is probably like almost 180K, like somewhere like in South Baltimore.
Yeah.
And like the area is really like almost forgotten. But the house realistically should be like around like 50K max.
Like some of the things that the left complains about, like unfairness in terms of economy, I understand.
Yeah, I get
but
that.
But that's where I draw the line. Like I'm there with you, but your solutions are not gonna be found changing words and definitions and canceling people. You're just like
It's like throwing a tantrum.
distracting yourself.
You're just making an echo chamber.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's what it is.
you can fart in an echo chamber and call it a rose petal, but it's still a fucking fart. You're immune to your own farts. It's still a fucking
I
fart.
see what you mean.
You can deny all you want. It's gonna stink regardless.
Yeah.
You can say it's sweet, but no, it's fucking.
Like
sweet.
everyone is celebrating diversity, but the only diversity that matters is intellectual diversity, in the sense that we're not different race. If we can take a man from Africa and one from India and they can have a baby, it's the same fucking species.
Right.
It's the same race,
Right.
right? If you put that cell under a microscope, it's gonna show you the same features
It's the same
throughout.
fucking
Yeah, it's just
thing,
that you live in a different climate, your genetic expression is a little different.
Yeah.
It's simple science.
Yeah, literally,
It's not something special.
Just because your
Yeah.
environmental factors in
Yeah,
you're-
we're the same species. We're only one race.
Mhm.
We're the human race, and and it's just that like the ideologies that rule the world, they wanted to keep their ideas to be the dominant ideas, and that they created divide because they had access to knowledge and they controlled education and whatnot. So once you control education and access to knowledge, you can control how to, like we already know in psychology how conditioning works. You can actually condition a normal person into being a monster just by changing their thoughts and feeding them confirmation bias. Just basically how TikTok and Instagram Reels do, by showing you the same content that you agree with, and you feel like, oh, since I can see this all day, which means everyone else is also seeing this all day. So everyone must agree with
That's
me.
not true.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's a window. See, cannabis and drugs are not the break. What's called doorway into mental health crisis is fucking social media, and like conditioning of your own ideas. Like a lot of we don't realize that, but a lot of the things that we like cling onto as our own ideas and talk about with such a reaction and passion, like we're not even our own ideas. They come to we just cling onto them because of our surroundings. That's the only outcome that could have come out of it. Like the one thing is that now once you realize that, like, have you heard that story about a frog living in a pond? Let's say there were 1,000 ponds, but in that world you got to live as a frog, and you only lived in one pond, so you were unaware of those other 9,999 ponds, right? So for you that was the world, but for a frog that got to jump from at least 5 to 10 ponds, he has more perspective of like, oh, there's bigger world out there, and we're all egocentric. Like I can only see you from here, but I can't see you from where you are sitting, right? So my perspective to everyone's problems is going to be the problems that I've dealt with.
You're gonna pretty much recommend like what you know. Like think about it. Like so people that have like more of like a mentality of like so I know my dad, like he was a very like, stop fucking moping around. Like he's like, I don't want this fucking you crying like you're like you know like you're like some kind of like bro, it's like no one's gonna come save you. So he was very like iron fisted, like very like very traditional. And I agree with some of it, for the most part, because it honestly gave me personal accountability.
Just
but
a quick side note, we're at the 2-minute mark.
All right, we should probably close it up on this one.
Yeah.
Right.
No, say what you gotta say.
No, so like I get what you're saying. So like so like say for example, if I'm going to like money problems and I ask you advice, you guys are gonna give me advice on the ways you dealt with money problems. Like what the fuck? Like that is logical. Like I get that, and like it's just what's that confirmation bias? Like you said, like
No, that's egocentrism.
Is it egocentrism?
Like, I can only look at the world if I just keep explaining the world just from my perspective. I feel like my perspective is the only perspective.
Okay. Yeah.
Like everyone must look from my perspective. So like I'm not putting myself
like out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Confirmation bias is that I look for things that
They're going
fit
to
my
fit
narrative.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Yeah, like that makes sense. Like,
And the social media just does it for you. Once if you watch 5 clips that are similar in genre, the
Pretty
next
much-
25 are gonna be the
pretty
same.
much Fox
Yeah.
News and CNN.
Yeah.
Straight up, both.
Yeah.
They're confirmation bias for each other. Like people are like, you already know what kind of crowd you're gonna bring in from watching Fox News and CNN. Well, I mean, who the fuck watches CNN anymore? Even liberals don't even watch that shit anymore. For real, honestly. No, they-
Lost me there.
No, the CNN viewership has plunged even amongst Democrats. Like, Fox News is actually, ironically, the only consistent one. I'm not like a fan, not defending Fox, bro.
Oh, okay.
You know, not defending
I got
Fox.
quiet.
No, but the thing is, like, when it comes down to like ratings and stuff, like CNN has plummeted. But you know why? Because Democrats are more younger, so they're on TikTok, more getting information, which makes sense. But alright, that's pretty much it, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I have nothing else to say. I'm kind of brain a little bit.
Nah, same. But I enjoyed all of this because it helps me think. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna look at the world a little differently. If I'm being honest. And that's the timer. All right. Just want to thank you all for listening. This again is the Piece by Piece podcast. Tune in. We film every Sunday. We will be uploading very soon, and we just want to appreciate you for listening. Follow us on YouTube. Coming soon at Piece by Piece. Peace, P-E-A-C-E, by B-I. Peace, P-I-E-C-E. And just remember, you matter, your mental health is very important, and you're going to get through this. Anything else you guys want to say before we sign off?
No, not really. I mean, just honestly, just pretty much just, I don't know, man. Just take it. Just pretty much when you're taking any information, man, just take it like you make the choice on how you're going to take the information, man. Because there's like a bunch of like the information, like how everyone hears. Say for example, we hear like the flying objects. One person's gonna be like UFOs. The other person's gonna be like some. That's clearly like some like army shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the other person's like, yo, I don't know what the fuck that shit could be. So it's just like, don't subscribe to one type of ideology because you will catch yourself in a, like I said, a heavy confirmation bias, and then you're gonna be insufferable. Don't be insufferable. Like, just don't be an insufferable human being. Like, yo, listen to shit that makes you a little bit uncomfortable, gain perspective. Like people that hate Andrew Tate. Yo, maybe you should actually watch Andrew Tate videos, see what happens, like a full video.
That's true.
People that love Andrew Tate should probably, you know,
Watch something that's
like
not
watch some like maybe some gender fluid stuff. Maybe I'll try to get some insight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you agree with it, nah. If not, well, fuck it. You try. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hate the other side, man. Because like I said, towards the end, you're just gonna be an insufferable fucking person. You know what I'm saying?
Like next time when you catch yourself getting angry or having a strong reaction against something, instead of reacting and using harsh words, just sit down and ask yourself, where did this way of thinking that that leads to me in reacting this way came from? Are these even my own ideas? The moment you give a little thought of that, it will dissolve and you'll be a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of like a buffer. Like, even if you're here, you might not retain it and be like, okay, I'm not as mad now. But, yeah, another thing, drink water.
And, you know, as a society, young kids are not having sex. And they're not having enough.
Next episode. That's
a good
So instead of reacting, make love.
Yeah, I'm writing that down.
Fight in the bed, motherfuckers. Not at the computers.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that sex thing is probably a good one for mental health. But
Yeah.
we got to do that.
Josh, you want to say anything?
Sure. Going to fix your mental health if you're depressed, if you're, sad or anything. Go to the gym or do something that will make you stronger. Because in reality, you're depressed for a reason. You're unhappy with yourself, and you should be. You're weak. So, get stronger. And if you have the strength, you're a weightlifter. You're a boxer. You're a fighter. You're an intelligent human being. You're a reader. Teach people, and don't charge money for it. Only charge money for it if they're 24, 25, because at that point, you're not dealing with kids anymore. But you gotta teach them young, 16, 15-year-olds, and seeing them just fat as fuck and complaining all the damn time.
Take some fucking accountability, what man's trying to say.
Yeah, it's not just accountability. It's just like
you heard it here first.
It's a lifestyle. You gotta
Word.
change your lifestyle. Otherwise, you're gonna be teaching your kids that, and you won't be able to live far enough to see your grandchildren. So really, just, I'm not saying that you fat. I'm just saying you're weak. You know, get yourself in the gym. It'll change your mentality. It'll change everything about your life. One day you look in the gym, you'll see yourself. You'll be like, what the fuck is that? When I started playing basketball, and I remember I was like, you know, I was a stupid kid. I wanted to be in the NBA. I was an idiot, but I trained my ass off 8 hours a day. And one day when I didn't even want to lose weight, but one day I looked at myself, I looked at my thighs, I was like, holy shit, I got skinny. And I weighed myself, I was like, wait, holy shit, 2 months gone by, I lost 40 pounds. So I'm just saying, train with the ideology to become something
Better.
fucking amazing. Not the mentality to lose weight, not the mentality to become, you know, no, just train to fucking be a weapon. That ideology will get you far. It'll make you strong, it'll make you tough, it'll make you wise. And when you deal with challenges, you will deal with them differently. Yeah, I got other stuff to say, but we out of time.
You heard it here first. 4 different perspectives. None of us are professionals, but we're all just trying to give life advice to make you a better person. Thank you for listening again, and I hope you all have a great night. Oh, thank God.
Oh my
Dude,
fucking
my
God.
my computer's on 2%, so I was like, yes, come on. He's
I'm sorry, that
saying.
shit sucked. I don't want to do this again.
No, you're good, you're good.
Oh,
My computer almost died, so I was like, man.
Well, I'm an introvert. I'm not used to this shit.
I think my camera literally died. So like a good 45.
How many people were even listening?
Audio cap of 3,
Yeah,
2, 1. Alright, we're good.
No, my shit died. So like.